So Senator Ron Johnson, R from Wisconsin, blocked a bill that was supported by both Senator Hawley and Senator Sanders that would have gave everybody, or I guess means tested, $1,200 check. Obviously, that's not nearly enough. It's something, for sure, but Johnson, he can't support this because of the deficit. We can't help out people right now because we got to worry about that goddamn deficit, according to Ron Johnson here.
On Friday blocked an effort to pass a second round of stimulus checks, arguing coronavirus relief needs to be targeted in raising concerns about the country's debt. Senator Josh Hawley tried to get consent, which requires the cooperation of every senator.
And it is targeted. Anybody who made, and again, it should be it should be universal, $2,000 a month, everybody in the U.S., duration of the crisis, along with all these other measures, canceling rent, canceling mortgage payments, canceling student loan debt, Medicare for all, etc. But so many people are struggling right now, but all they can come up, it's the debt. We got to worry about that pesky debt. But as we'll see, he's not consistent with that.
For individuals who make up to $75,000, the exact same language that Congress passed as part of the CARES Act in March. Hawley said from the Senate floor, quote, "What I'm proposing is what every senator has supported already this year. What I'm proposing will give working folks in my state and across the country,
which is a good thing,
at getting back up on their feet."
But Johnson, no, he can't support that goddamn deficit. We gotta worry about that shit. It's fucking disgusting. But okay, so Johnson was saying, yeah, it's the deficit. It's the deficit. I completely support some kind of program targeted for small business. So what I fear we're going to do with this bipartisan package and what the senator from Missouri is talking about is the same thing as a shotgun approach. We will not have learned any lessons from a very hurried, very rushed earlier relief package. Okay, so it's all about the deficit for Mr. Ron Johnson there, senator from the great state of Wisconsin. So it's the deficit he's so concerned about. But during the Obama presidency, Johnson proposed limiting federal spending in order to reduce the deficit. Was active in attempting to drive consensus on fiscal issues between Republicans in the Senate and House. He was involved in the deals to raise the debt ceiling. Despite projections of a $1 trillion increase in the national debt over 10 years, Johnson voted for the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. Interesting. So he's very concerned about the deficit when the program in question, $1,200 means tested checks in this place, are going to the working class. But tax cuts for the rich in perpetuity that have no sunset, like the tax cuts for the working class that was in this Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, that's fine. That's fine because that's, going to his corporate donors and the money and interest who prop up Mr. Johnson, senator from Wisconsin here. So again, it's a bunch of bullshit. Whenever you hear any politician talk about them being concerned about the debt, it's all fucking bullshit. Both parties completely support the disgusting and bloated budget for the military that goes, to pad the bottom lines of all these defense contractors, or, Johnson in this case voting for that $1 trillion fucking tax cut. But no, we can't give this $1,200 check to people in the U.S. during a pandemic, economic crisis as well, because the debt. We gotta really worry about that fucking debt. Yep. Despite his prior stance on eliminating the federal deficit, Johnson voted in favor of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Which we already talked about there. Johnson, as opposed, increased government spending and the federal stimulus. He has supported broad reduction in federal tax rates. And I'm all for reducing taxes for the working class, but those making millions and billions of dollars a year, tax the fuck out of those people, because the only way they're able to get that rich anyways is by exploiting their workers. And Mr. Johnson here obviously doesn't really know what it's like to be a working class individual. He has a net worth $10.4 million. So he obviously doesn't know what it's like to struggle to be in this pandemic and not know how you're going to feed your family, how you're going to keep a roof over your house. It's just so disgusting. And again, we see this on both sides of the aisle. Most of those people in positions of power in our government have no clue what it's like to actually be part of the working class and worry about how you're going to get health care, how you're going to pay for your kids' education, how you're going to keep a roof over your house, etc. And it's completely and utterly disgusting. I don't know what else to say. Peace, much love.